Inmates take hold of prison staff in Taiwan. Australia says it thwarted an imminent terrorist attack. Plus, TransAsia pilots fail to pass a competency exam. And Taiwan's China Affairs Minister steps down. For Thursday, the 12th of February 2015, this is the Asia Brief. Prisoners at a Taiwanese jail took 3 staff members hostage on Wednesday, demanding to be released. The group complained about their long prison sentences and said their criminal trials were unfair. The group of 6 inmates broke into a weapons storage locker about 4 p.m. yesterday, Singapore time. They obtained rifles and handguns and then took 3 staff members hostage. They later then agreed to release them in exchange for the prison chief and another senior staffer. The inmates in question were imprisoned for murder, robbery, and drug charges. Negotiations with the kidnappers are underway. They demanded they leave the prison from a side door, said Deputy Justice Minister Cheng Min-tang. At 11 p.m. last night local time, the standoff was still going. Li Rongsung, a former counselor at the Kaohsiung City Council, was said to have known one of the inmates and therefore was asked to hear their grievances. The leader of the 6 was identified by police as Cheng Li-tae, a senior member of a notorious triad group known as the Bamboo Union Gang. Cheng was sentenced to 28 years for murder and has been behind bars since August of 2012. Australian police on Wednesday said they have thwarted what they are calling an imminent terror attack in Sydney. The police arrested 2 men armed with a machete, a hunting knife, a video, and an Islamic State flag. New South Wales Deputy Police Commissioner Catherine Byrne said it would be alleged that the attack being planned was consistent with the messaging coming out of IS. When pressed if the alleged forthcoming attack would be a beheading, Byrne said police was unsure of the attack's nature, but that it was imminent and likely to have involved a knife. The men were arrested on a raid on a property in Sydney's western suburbs on Tuesday and have been charged with undertaking acts in preparation or planning for a terrorist act. Byrne said, quote, "We will allege that both of these men were preparing to do this act yesterday. We built up information, we received further information which indicated an attack was imminent, and we acted." End quote. Australia this past September raised its terror threat level and carried out extensive raids in Sydney and Brisbane to disrupt an alleged plot by IS supporters to abduct and behead a member of the public. In the wake of the recent TransAsia crash, the Taiwanese Aviation Authority ordered all 71 who fly the ATR-72 to take a test for competency. It is a 2-part test, and the first stage was completed yesterday. In that portion of the test, pilots were asked routine questions about the aircraft's operation. Now, keep in mind, this was an oral examination. Late Tuesday, the results broke. 10 out of TransAsia's 49 ATR pilots failed the oral proficiency test. Those that have failed the test have now been suspended from flight duties. No word yet on how the other pilots fared. Those passing round 1 will now be flown overseas to complete stage 2, which will be conducted in a flight simulator. Taiwan's Chief Affairs Minister Wang Yuqi resigned on Tuesday after prosecutors decided not to indict a former deputy whom he had accused of spying for Beijing. Wang alleged that Chang Xian-yao, a deputy minister at the Mainland Affairs Council, was leaking secrets to Beijing. Chang was under investigation, but denied the allegations and was cleared for insufficient evidence. However, Chang did step down from his post. Wang doesn't agree with the decision not to indict, but says he does respect it, noting that his stepping down was a way of him taking responsibility. If the prosecutors don't deem the evidence which the council has provided as classified information, then we might as well pack all this information in a suitcase and hand it over to Beijing. This is unacceptable, Wang said. When the accusations against Chang surfaced, he was immediately relieved of his duties. However, he denied all charges, saying he was only following the orders from President Ma. Keep up with all the news from the region by following Asia News Weekly on Facebook and Twitter. You can also send an email to the show with your comments, questions, and feedback. Just drop an email message to podcast@asiannewsweekly.net. You can subscribe to this and other podcasts at asiannewsweekly.net. Just click the subscribe tab, or you can do so in your favorite podcast application like iTunes or Stitcher. Subscribing is free, and when you do, that next episode is delivered automatically to you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends. Thank you so much for listening today. For the Asia Brief, I'm Steve Miller.